Hey y'all, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad. So today I am joined with Tegan and we're going to be talking all things Rosetta. So we want to kind of briefly go over all the spoilers and talk about what we're excited for the next set and also kind of the standout cards from our perspectives. So I think the way we want to do this is we want to first start with the heroes and just kind of give a brief overview of what they do and what their kind of archetype they might fall into. Let's start with Aurora, which I think maybe is the easiest to kind of classify. Tegan, how would you kind of classify this hero?
She is a go wide aggro deck. She's very low to the ground in terms of cost curve.
Yep.
So you're going to want to play a bunch of like zero cost attacks and then have ways to give them go again. So sometimes even just have go again. Her ability to make an embodiment of lightning seems a little bit boring, but if it's super nicely into the cost curve of you have one blue, you play a bunch of 0 for 4 lightning attacks with go again, make a lightning token, attack with Starfall.
Yep.
Just good aggro deck.
Yep. Pretty much. Verdance is next. So Verdance is almost like a setup kind of fatiguey style. I don't know if it's necessarily fatiguey, but almost like a combo kill style wizard.
Yeah, the way that I've seen people brewing it is a little bit like if LSS intentionally wanted Bolander to be a deck as opposed to it being like this emergent gameplay sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
With Verdance, it seems like you're going to want to send just very efficient 2 card hands, trade value, trade life, and then you have just a really good late game kill combo that can deal a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's specifically with like the healing potions, right?
yeah, we'll go into that when we get to
Yeah.
the reason Verdance isn't just a pile of draft chaff card.
Yep.
But yeah, I think as of the spoilers for like the Majestics, I think she's actually quite interesting.
Yep. Next, let's do Acilio. You've been following Acilio a little bit more than me. Do you want to kind of share kind of what he's like?
He's insane. So his ability, discard an instant, draw a card, is really good for hand filtering. The deck has a ton of instants, and you run a lot of stuff like Sigil of Brilliance, which is his specialization, to do a crazy combo turn where you have a bunch of lightning attacks, and then you bounce them back to your hand, and then you play out these auras, and then you bounce them back to your hand, and then you draw a bunch of cards, and then you essentially just get storm count for
Yeah.
like a magic reference on your staff, and then you pump a huge arcane spell right at the very end. It seems really fun. I think he's going to be just as much of an aggro deck as Aurora. I think he's going to be a very good hero, even.
Yeah, especially with the life total being 4 less, it's going to be good. Last is like kind of maybe the hardest to classify. So I've seen a lot of different Florian builds, and Tegan, you've also seen a bunch of different Florian builds.
Yeah, I have no idea what
Yeah,
they're going to do, what we're going to do with Florian.
I feel like he's almost got like a bunch of different game plans you could do. So you can maybe try to build him in more of like a hybrid, like aggressive approach, but you definitely want to be trying to go a little bit later in the game to kind of activate his hero ability. It seems like.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's really weird. I've seen multiple builds, one of which is like all in on his ability. You just make a ton of rune chants. You
Decompose a
Yeah,
bunch.
decompose a bunch, block a ton. You're running like Scepter of Pain
Yeah.
to just generate more chance, and then you have one big just OTK rune chance kill.
Yeah.
I've seen other ones where it's just like these are good value, and then you end up getting better value because your activate grasp of the Arknight, swing Reaping Blade now does 5 damage instead of 4. Better, more numbers. I don't know what lists are gonna like look like for him once they've converged, but he's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go into maybe some of the weapons as well. So Rotwood Reaper. Reaper is a 2 attack for 4 damage. Pretty on rate, pretty good. Not a whole lot to talk about this. I think that Florian can also run a bunch of other weapons like Reaping Blade or
Mhm.
like Nebula Blade. I don't know which is better.
It's like Road
It's
Reaper. It's a fine limited card for sure.
it's almost like worse Nebula Blade a little bit though.
Definitely worth Nebula Blade. If this cost 1 to attack, it would be completely broken.
Yeah, it'd be pretty broken.
It would mean you'd get a 1 card 6 in late game with Grasp, which
Yeah, that's
is like not okay.
Yeah.
It's also a little disappointing that you can't get a 1 card 6, but well.
Next, let's talk about Starfall. So Starfall is like a 1 for 2 almost.
It's a really good card.
Really suck.
It seems underwhelming, especially given that like Rosetta Thorn is a card, and this is definitely not a Rosetta Thorn, but
I feel like it's pretty much always gonna have the +1 and go again with the lists I've been seeing.
yeah, like it's just an annoying breakpoint, especially for something like the Burn Up Shock card,
Yeah.
which threatens arcane damage on hit. It extends the combo chain a little bit more. It's very cheap. It's just like a one cost attack, so a blue means you get to play this and activate Aurora in
Yeah.
that turn, and then the rest of your cards are just free to attack with.
It's really solid.
Yeah, it's just a solid card.
And then I think we have two more weapons. So we already talked about Volzar. Let's
Volzar is nuts.
Volzar's pretty nuts. So
Volzar is
basically, you just spam a bunch of sigils, right, and then you amp based on the number of, or I guess
you
you don't
play
have.
a bunch of lightning cards.
Yeah, you play more
specifically.
lightning cards than sigils. Really, you just need to play at least one sigil.
Yeah, and then it's free, and then you amp 8 or some absurd number and send Mind Warp for like 10 or 11, and then
Mind
it
Warp's
hits,
very
and
funny.
then your opponent's like, oh no, I guess I die. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a really cool card.
Yeah, pretty cool. And then Staff of Verdant Shoots. I think people have been a little bit down on this card.
I think this card sucks.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
fine
probably fine
with
and
it.
limited.
Yeah.
In,
But
cons- in construct, it's just too expensive.
Yeah, I think people have also been running Surging Aethertide
Yeah,
as well, so we can
for the combo.
Surging Aethertide. So I think there's like a combo kill with this, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. So we'll talk about that a little more towards the end. But yeah, anyways. So let's talk about the legendary first. So Tegan, share your thoughts on this.
So what happened to let's not make playable fables? Here's supposed to be
Yeah.
collector's items.
Yep.
This card is completely
Extremely
insane.
playable. Yeah.
For anyone doubting it, like think about how when Kindle was released for Kano, it completely revolutionized the deck.
Mhm.
It was this card that enabled Wildfire to come in for 7, maybe more if you had more Kindles, and it drew you a card. But what if the card that Kindle drew you was always blue? Well, then you'd get Will of Arcana. This card's nuts. It's even better with Potions of Deja Vu. I think it's a windmill slam into Kano. I don't know about Acilio. I haven't seen a ton of decks, although a couple I've seen are running it. But yeah, so now, even more so now, Kano optimally is not a budget deck
Yeah,
anymore.
for sure.
Yeah, this is wildly good. I kind of can't believe that they print this.
Cool. All right. Well, now let's move on to the legendaries of the set. So we talked about the weapons, the heroes, the fabled, and now let's talk about the legendaries. So, Arxia, the Millennial Tree. This
Millennial Tree.
the Millennial Tree. Yes. Very into avocado toast.
Yeah, avocado toast card.
So, when this defends, if there are 4 more Earth cards you banish, create an embodiment. Seems incredibly strong. As long as you can activate it, though.
I think the game plan with the 2 Earth Heroes is so focused on getting the Decompose on that this is going to be just a very efficient chess piece. Yeah, I think this is a great card.
Let me actually pull up Embodiment of Earth for people who don't know. Embodiment of Earth. Yeah, so non-attack action cards you control get +1 while defending, so really super solid, especially in like Runeblade or Wizards. I think are going to be running probably a mix of the two.
The nice part, so like if you're, let's say you're Verdance and
Right.
your opponent has a Command and Conquer coming in.
Yep.
You can block with this and then a 3-block like zap or something.
And then it pumps to 4.
Yeah,
right?
it pumps to 4 before damage or the on-hit happens, so it just covers it entirely. So you get to
It's almost like a Carrion Husk, kind of.
yeah, it's got temper, which
Yeah.
is also crazy. So you can like block with it again after the first one.
Should have just given it Battle Worn so you can do it over.
Yeah, why not? No, it does not need Balworn. Yeah, this is a I think windmill slam in the Earth Heroes.
Really super solid.
Like there's like more in-depth stuff we could talk about with Verdance and how I think this like
Slots
is
in there.
better than Tunic for Verdance, but that's kind of beyond the scope of the video.
Yeah. Next up, Lightning Greaves.
What? This is dumb.
Yeah.
This is a really stupid
So
card.
this has a lot of good synergy with Aurora specifically. So instant cards you play get go against. This synergizes with a lot of her cards that are payoffs. I think like Arc Lightning. We'll get to that card eventually. But deals 1 damage for each time you get go again. So this is pretty insane with that, right?
Yeah, but more importantly, this I think probably enables like a 35 damage turn with Acilio.
Yeah.
Because all the sigils that you're playing in him are instants.
So they each get go again, which nets you an action point, right?
Yeah, it's really stupid. It's got Arcane Barrier, and then the other thing that it has is Battle Worn.
Yeah.
So it can cover a breakpoint, because it blocks 1 on top of everything else,
Yeah.
and you still get the ability to pop it and then just do this ridiculous lightning combo turn. This card's great.
Yeah.
Super cool card.
Very cool card. Face Purgatory is next. So this card's interesting. I don't know how to feel about this card.
The more I read this, the more I like it. I've heard people kind of compare it to Fleshbag, where when that card blocks, it blocks for 2 and intimidates a random card. This, you can't just throw it by itself in front of an attack, and
It's almost like you want to block 7 or 8.
yeah. But the cool thing is, and I didn't read this the first time, and I was like, this card's kind of crap. But when you do meet the condition for Face Purgatory, your opponent discards a card, and then you draw a card. So you're blocking with 2 cards from hand and this guy, and then you're getting a refund for 1 card.
One other card, right?
So for something like Florian, I'd be willing to bet that this like ends up being just like a good value play sometimes. I don't know. Like it's definitely something to like test and play with. It's not like I think like the strengths of this card are not as obvious as some of the other legendaries that are in the set.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be running like other rune blades, like Viscerai or like?
I think there's like a good chance that it is, because it is just disruption on an opponent. Like I guess into Aurora, like it can mess up just a turn, right?
Right.
It's like, oh well, I really wanted to be able to play out everything in my hand. I like blocked accordingly so I could, and now I don't get to. So it also like being on board makes you play around it a little bit differently.
Yeah, but it does demand basically net 1 card from your hand.
It is cool.
Because it, yeah.
Art's cool too.
Art's very cool. Next, let's talk about Aether Bindings of the Third Age. This is kind of like an Acilio card more than anything, right?
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
Disappointed.
Oh, I'm a little disappointed. So, a big wizard player, right?
Yeah.
It's got an ability where whenever an art permanent you control a sigil and its name leaves the arena, you amp 1. So this fits right into Acilio's like
Mega amp
turn. You just keep amping by like bouncing all these things back and forth. Probably is gonna like amp like at least like 3.
Yeah. Which is pretty good on rate. So you basically
decent.
block 1, amp 3, which is really solid.
The thing that I'm most disappointed about that it's so pigeonholed to Acilio is this is battle worn and blocks for 1. And I would kill to have some equipment to block breakpoints for Kano.
Yeah.
And this is not that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty hard to run in Kano.
So disappointing. But it's cool that it does get battle worn, and hopefully it's a sign that there's going to be more wizard equipment that can actually defend in the future.
Hopefully. Next, Arcanite Fortress is last generic.
I think this card's cool.
Card's power is equal to the number of equipment with Arcanite in your name, so I think that's only Skull Cap currently.
And this guy, yeah.
And this guy. And then Spell Void X, so Spell Void 2 presumably, and then Guardwall. So basically blocks 2, Spell Void 2. So pretty alright. Although I'm not like super impressed by like Arcanite Skull Cap in general against wizards, kind of poor. I think.
Yeah, I mean I don't know how good this gets, and I don't know you want to be running the Arcanite suite, especially because like there's definitely better chess pieces like Tunic.
Right.
But I really like this design where it cares about an equipment set. I think it's a cool way to like reinvigorate some of these old equipment pieces that have kind of been power corrupt.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Skullcap used to be like
Skullcap used to be really good.
The best headpiece, and it's just been power corrupt, like to the point where you're only using that if you're doing some very specific thing. So
yeah, and then they're eventually going to print the Arcanite legs and
Arcanite legs, Arcanite fingerless gloves,
Arcanite shield.
Arcanite shield.
Yeah. Although I don't even know what that would. Yeah, it would consider it. Okay, cool. So something to look forward to if you're a Guardian player, I guess. Let's move on to Majestics.
Yeah.
So
is this a Majestics?
Yeah, this is Majestics. So we'll try to cover kind of like the cool ones. We'll kind of briefly try to breeze through these. So Germinate. This is a Florian specialization. So create a rune chant or an embodiment of Earth token, repeat this process X more times, and then gain X+1 life. What do you think about this card?
Super good. Specifically saying repeat this process means
that it synergizes with the ability, right?
Yeah, it's not create X rune chants. It's create one rune chant X times. So then if Florian's turned on, it's do the double, and then it also applies to embodiment of Earth tokens. And then on top of it, you gain a bunch of life.
I feel like you're probably gonna want to more so lean into the rune chants than but like making like 2 embodiments seems pretty good as well.
Mhm.
Like definitely like very cool like modal thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you got to like split it up, so you didn't have to just make like 4 rune chants or 4 embodiments. You could do like 2 and 2.
No, I know. I imagine you could probably do that. But yeah,
It's a good card.
yeah, pretty solid card. I feel like you're probably gonna be. What are you gonna pay for this normally? Like 3, like pitch 2 blues, pay 6 into it.
Probably the black's 3 as well, which is like really cool.
So you make like 3 rune chants.
No go again.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a chain ender too, which is kind of interesting.
In Runeblade, like you've enough like little like ooh, I'm cheating on an action point with
Creepers
creepers
or
or something, but
yeah,
this seems just like a strong card.
yeah, definitely playable as a blue 3 block too. Next, let's talk about Thistle Bloom Life. So this is also for Florian, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So create extra enchant tokens or X's total life you gain this turn, and then gain 1 life. So baseline, you're always gaining 1 life, making a rune chant, and then you are synergizing with like the life gain and stuff. So potentially synergizing with Germinate and like other life gain effects, which there are a lot of in Earth. So very solid overall, I think.
It seems all right.
It's also a 3 block.
I haven't seen a ton of Florian lists. I'm being completely honest with you. So
Yeah.
this making rune chants is pretty good, but like I don't know. Like it could also be a situation where it's like fine, but there's better things that you're doing in Florian.
Yeah, it feels like you want to maybe at least gain 2 life so you can get
Mhm.
3 rune chants. So that way it's like on rate, it's like a 0 for 4 kind of.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Interesting build around card.
Let's look at the Aurora one.
Yeah, Arc Lightning. So this is whenever you go again this turn, deal 1 arcane damage. This is what I was talking about synergizing with the leggings. So anytime you play anything with Go Again, deals one arcane damage to any target, and then it also just gives something Go Again, and then it also just has Go Again on itself. So
It triggers immediately.
It triggers immediately, which is pretty solid. So it's 0 for 1 baseline, and then also gives something Go Again, and also is kind of like an Art of War, not like an Art of War effect, but kind of like an Art of War effect, right?
Yeah, it's also a lightning card, so it's fusible, and Aurora probably more than any of the other heroes cares about fusing.
Yeah, so really solid.
Yeah, this is probably going to create a lot of go wide pinger turns.
Yeah.
Which
are gonna be pretty hard to block too.
Yeah, like Aurora seems like she's gonna just leak damage through like super hard.
Yep.
Yeah, this card seems pretty good. I think it's like a 3 in her deck.
Yep. And next we'll talk about Vaporized Shock. Destroy an aura permanent with cost X or less and up to X aura tokens, where X is the total arcane damage you dealt to opposing hero this turn, and then deal 1 arcane damage. Okay. So this is kind of like a
sideboard
yeah,
card.
it's kind of like a sideboard card for Aurora. So dealing with aura permanents, pretty good.
Yeah, you don't run that main board.
Probably not, no.
Let's do the heartbeat.
Heartbeat. So gain 1 life, gain 1 life, gain 1 life. Crazy card.
Good. Yeah.
So this triggers Verdance 3 times. So if you're in the late game, you're basically pinging for 3.
Yep.
Correct.
It's a 1 per.
It's a 1 per 6.
It's a 2 card 6 if you think about it that way.
Yeah, and then it also has Go Again as a blue 3 block. So very obviously an auto include in pretty much every Verdance list, I imagine.
Yeah,
right?
like I think you run this as a 3. It also gains life, which she wants to do. It synergizes really, really well with the next card, which is the Aether Wildfire of Verdance.
Yeah.
So before this was spoiled, I was like, oh, well, like, Verdance sucks. Like, this is a terrible hero and it isn't good. And then this got spoiled.
Yeah.
This card is
bonkers.
Really good. So the play patterns are complex enough where we're not going to, like, delve into it.
Yeah, there's like a 10-step combo with this card, basically.
But to give a quick brief once over this is like an action phase combo.
Yeah.
You run Surge and Aether Tide, which is the staff where it deals arcane damage and then buffs the next thing.
Yeah.
And then you play multiple rampant growths with a bunch of healing potions out.
And healing potion is a potion from Everfest that as an action, Go Again, gain 2 life, right?
Yep. So you gain like 6, 7 life. Then you
ping 6, obviously.
Yeah.
You're in the late game.
You play 1, meld, So life resolves first.
Yep.
Then there's a Verdance trigger. You let the ping happen. Then the rampant growth is yet to resolve.
Yep.
Then you meld another one. Let the life go. Verdance trigger.
Yeah.
Then both the rampant growths resolve. It buffs the staff. The staff does a bunch of damage, and then you send like some sort of zap, and then it's just a ton of damage.
Also, if you didn't know with these meld cards, you're actually supposed to fold them in half to show that they're resolved.
Yeah, so they're a lot like the tokens from Heavy Hitter.
Yeah,
You
rip them in half. Yeah, exactly.
If you don't do that, it's considered poor sportsmanship.
Yes. Anyways,
please don't rip in half your cards.
Yeah, this is a warning. Okay, grab that cat.
Hello.
Anyways.
Say hi to Phil.
Hello, Philip. Anyways, there's insane combos with the card. This card is like incredible. I think you pretty much almost always want to run this in Verdance, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could also
a 2 of or a 3 of, but it's extremely strong.
It being a yellow no block's a little bit rough, but I think it's good enough where that doesn't matter.
It's Earth.
Yeah, it's Earth too.
Which matters.
Yeah, insane card.
Wild card.
Next, we'll go on to Sigil Brilliance. So this is a Cilia specialization. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When this leaves the arena, draw a card. So very, very good card.
Yeah, this is key to a lot of the Acilio big turns where you're bouncing this card back to your hand, you're drawing into more cards, you're playing out more lightning attacks, you're charging at Volzar.
Notably, when you bounce it, it leaves the arena, so you draw a card.
Yep. It's kind of cool how Acilio plays like a weird flicker Magic the Gathering deck.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, so this card's great. You run 3. It's a lightning card as well, so it turns on. I don't know if he's going to fuse, but yeah, just really, really solid spec. It draws a card. If only they didn't ban the tomes.
Yeah.
Oh, if only they didn't.
If they didn't ban the tomes, this card.
Facility would be even better.
All right. Yeah, Brilliance and card. Next, we'll talk about Null Shock. I think this is more kind of sideboard for Acilio.
It is. I think it's kind of like a necessary sideboard a little bit. Like, so I think one thing that people might run into Acilio if you're a wizard is Aetherize or
Oasis.
Or just like Oasis, or like there's a new one from this set that we'll get into later. It's an Earth card.
But this can counter that.
This can counter it. So it can deal like 1 arcane damage, right?
So it does technically cost 2 to play both halves of this if you want to.
But yeah, it's, I think, more like you keep this in your inventory for specific matchups. It's not a main board thing.
Probably not.
You can also, with Acilio's ability to discard it, to draw a card. But still, I think a pretty solid card.
Super solid card. Next, we'll talk about Felling of the Crown. So this is, if there are 4 more Earth cards, it gets +4. So it's a 3 for 8, assuming that you play this. And then Decompose. When this attacks, you may banish 2 Earth cards from an action. 2 Earth cards and an action card. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that part. Mm-hmm. If you do, each hero puts a card from the hand on the bottom of their deck. So you're basically having to banish 3 cards from your graveyard. 3 specific types of cards, right?
Yep. So at its floor, it's floor, it's a 2-card 4, which is like not great. It does block 3, which is unique for Earth cards. There's not a lot that do. But once the 4 or more Earth cards stipulation has been turned on, this is a 2-card 8, which is really good. It's above rate. And then
notably, this is an attack trigger, not a non-hit trigger. So this is almost like it's not like a surgical extraction because you don't get to pick the card, but
it's almost like Intimidate.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
But it's each hero. But if you're playing big value Earth and you're like, I'm going to block with 2 cards and then send this back and then decompose.
This is also meant to be kind of like a chain ender, right? So you're not wanting to have a lot of cards in your hand.
Yeah, I don't, like in Earth, I don't know how big the chains are going to be, but this is like, it's disruption, it's a really big number, it's harder to block because of the decompose thing.
And it's a payoff in the late game, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 3 for 8 with a devastating attack trigger, so very, very solid card.
Also important with decompose, because it says 2 Earth cards and an action card. You can banish 3 Earth cards as long as one of those Earth cards is an action card. Like, that counts as well. Yeah. So you're getting even further to activating your hero's text, which is important for both the Earth heroes. But yeah, I think this is just you run 3 of these.
Yes, pretty much.
In Verdance and in Florida. Like,
you think you're in Verdance too?
Yeah, you need it. Like, you just got to do it.
Pretty good. All right, next we'll talk about Plow Under. So this is similar to kind of Felling of the Crown. So it gets +4 if there are 4 more Earth cards. Then this is Arsenal Hate. So this is kind of like CNC almost, but it's an attack trigger.
Yeah, which is
Quite solid.
quite solid. And
It does need a little bit of setup to turn it on, obviously, but very, very solid if you can get the 4 Earth cards and banish.
that's true. Also, the decompose line, if you don't have a card in your arsenal, then you just don't do it. And it tries to resolve as much as it can, which in this case is your opponent loses their arsenal and nothing bad happens to you.
Yeah, so as long as you don't have an arsenal, this card is basically just CNC, but like without the attack trigger.
So basically, this is a really good card to just put in your arsenal because it's like, oh, guess what? Also, the like 4 more Earth cards in your banish zone thing that does not need to be turned on for the decompose arsenal disruption on this to work. Like that just happens. So good card.
Next, Earth's Embrace.
You skipped the card.
Oh, did I? Channel Millennium. Oh, yeah, I should not skip this card. So when this enters the arena at the beginning of your action phase, amp 3, and then it's got the Channel Earth effect, so you have to put an Earth card on the bottom in order to keep it around. So what do you think of this card?
I am not impressed with this card after seeing the rest.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. I don't think it synergizes great with Verdance.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it synergizes with Florian. I'm not sure what the final build of Florian
It's
will
kind of
be,
like Channel Mount Heroic, but if you Channel Mount Heroic only costs 1, right?
Channel Mount Heroic costs 3, but
Oh, does it?
yeah, the thing about Channel Mount Heroic is every attack action card you play got buffed by 3.
This is only the first one, yeah.
So it's what if CMH was fair?
Right.
So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong because this card's cool.
This card is cool.
I really like this card, but I don't think it's great.
Yeah. Next, we'll talk about Earth's Embrace. At the beginning of your end phase, create an embodiment of Earth, and then if you haven't banished an Earth card this turn, destroy this. So this doesn't banish Earth cards itself. It just sticks around if you can chain kind of your decomposes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I don't know. I don't know how good this is. I've seen a couple like Verdance lists put this in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a blue 2-block, which is a little rough.
If you keep it around long enough, like if this just stays around and keeps making embodiments of Earth, and if you have like multiples out, it is go again. So you could play out 2 of these if you really wanted to, and then like
chain them, but
yeah, get all sorts of just good blocking available. But yeah, I don't like this could be really good, but I think it's
you
like,
need to kind of keep the decompose going though, which is a little rough. Next, we'll talk about Seeds of Tomorrow. This is an Earth instant. As an initial cost of plays, put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck, and then prevent the next 5 damage that will be dealt to you this turn. So notably, this is a terrible arsenal.
Yeah, don't or do, depending on if you're playing against me. In your arsenal.
Yeah.
I really like the way this is designed.
It's very cool. It's very interesting. I don't know how good this card is though. It's like, I don't know, it's like a 2-card 5-block, but it's prevention, which is better than normal blocking.
Well, the nice part is it's not the next time you be dealt damage, prevent 5 of that damage. It's prevent the next 5.
Yeah.
So
you can split it up.
Yeah, you can split it up, which is really good. It's also nice as a Kano player that you can't just put this in your arsenal and spend the entire game sandbagging this. Like, this has to be in your hand. It's a lot like Tome of Harvest, but I think this is a solid just inventory card for certain matchups.
Yeah, pretty solid. Next, we'll talk about Current Funnel. If the last action card you play this turn was Lightning, this and the next action you play this turn gets Go Again. So, pretty solid. Just a 0 for 2 that has Go Again, presumably, and then gives the next thing Go Again is pretty good. And it's a blue 3-block. Like, insane card.
Yeah, and it costs 0. Like, you win
everything you want out of a card, basically.
Yeah, you just windmill slam that in Aurora, and then do you
think it's playable in Acilio too? Maybe not necessarily.
Maybe. It could be. I don't know. Maybe.
Next, we'll kind of try to run through these. Eclectic Magnetism. When this attacks, you may play a non-attack action card. This chain link gets that over an instant.
Great card. Amazing for Acilio.
Pretty good art, too. Look at that art. It's like got a bunch of random shit that you're coming out of portals. I like that.
Yeah, just very solid card. Great.
1 for 5, 3-block, red. Seems really good.
Mm-hmm.
Gone in a Flash. This is a really cool. This is like Endless Arrow kind
This
of.
card's dumb.
So when this attacks, the next time you play an instant card this chain link, you may return this to its owner's hand. So what you can do with this card is after the damage has resolved, right? So you like pump this or do something so it comes in for 7 or it comes in for 4, right? Then you after the damage resolution, or I guess you can just do this at any point, right? You can just bounce it whenever. You can like play like a sigil out, return it to hand, and then if it has go again, or if you like netted action points, you can like recast it from hand and just cast it a million times.
Play like Blink, play it again. Like, you run 3 of these in Acilio and Aurora, and I don't even think that there's any room for debate. This just makes both of them like do the thing that they want to do.
Very, very good card. Just 0 for 4 baseline, very good stats, and then
It
3
blocks
luck.
3, which is crazy to me that this blocks 3.
Card's nuts. Next we'll talk about Channel Lightning Valley. So this is probably more for Aurora. Maybe both.
You run both.
Maybe both.
But yeah, it's for both. Like, this is just a good card.
Just generically good card, you think? So 0, no block aura that you can channel lightning at the beginning of. So and you also play this as an instant too, which is very important against like effects like Weakest Link. And then draws you a card every time you play, or every time you deal damage, which is not
First time.
first time you deal damage.
Oh my god, if it was.
If it was every time, yeah, sorry, I misspoke there. I meant to say that. Yeah.
That'd be so much better.
Next, we got High Voltage, Amp 1, Lightning Instant.
I think this is. I think you definitely played it in Acilio. It synergizes super well with Gone in a Flash, and then keeps pumping your. It double pumps Volzar because it's lightning, and Volzar sees that, and then it has Amp as well, so it makes the final thing come in for a ton.
Yeah. Very, very solid.
Yeah, with I think you can run it in Aurora potentially. It just is like, oh, here's 2 Arcane coming through, like really good card.
Yeah.
Blue as well.
Blue as well. Next, we got Snuff Out. So when this hits your enemy, destroy an aura you control. If you do, then they discard a card.
Oh man, the cool part about this is that since you're Runeblade, you probably have like a rune chant just hanging out.
Well, so here's a problem with this card, or not necessarily a problem, but like you have to like make a rune chant after you attack. So
Do you? I mean, so
because if you have a rune, if you're
how do rune chants work?
because the rune chants will. This is on a hit trigger, right? So you need to have a rune chant when the hit resolves, which is kind of interesting. So like this, I don't think you can play this in like Vincent, for instance, because she doesn't really have a lot of ways to instant speed.
Oh, you could do it with like an Eloquence token.
Could do it with like an Eloquence token, or you could do it with like Funeral Moon or something.
Interesting.
This card is like a little bit hard to make like there are rune blades that are better at doing this effect, I think.
Viscerai does this really well.
Yeah, because Viscerai I think makes a rune chant after the attack, right?
Yeah, so it's not gonna.
Yeah, so like Viscerai uses this card very well, but like Vincent might struggle to use this card unless she runs like Funeral Moon or like other. Maybe she doesn't struggle to use this card, but
Vincent struggles in general.
Vincent struggles. Maybe not in the next set, but we'll see. A very solid card though, like the discard card.
I don't think it's an Aurora card because it doesn't cost 0 and doesn't have go again naturally, but I think this is a good card.
Yeah, Aurora also doesn't make a ton of rune chants from what I've seen.
Yeah, like she really doesn't.
She does little arcane pings, but she doesn't do a ton of like rune chants. So next we have Machinations of Dominion. So the next Runeblade attack action card you play this turn gets overpowered. If you played or created an aura this turn, this gets go again. So this is almost feels more like a Viscerai card than anything.
It really kind of does. I think you can probably play it in Florian as well. Like the immediate thing that I think of is like, look at all these rune chants I made. Here comes I'm gonna play this, and here comes 9th Blade of the Blood Oath with go again and overpower, which is like seems pretty good.
Yeah. It's a blue 3 block, so maybe it just slots into some decks, like just looking for a kind of like a late game finisher.
I mean, also like the 3 block matters a lot for Runeblade actions. So many of them just block for 2.
Right.
So having a blue 3 block in there like does matter a lot and is impactful.
Yeah.
Very
solid. Succumb to Temptation. So this, if you dealt arcane damage starting you play as an instant, the next time a Runeblade attack action card you control hits this turn, look at their hand and choose a card, they discard it. That seems kind of nuts.
Oh, it's so good. So like this is it, like I think a windmill slam for Viscerai.
Yeah.
You might play it in like Florian as well, but like
getting to thought seize them.
Yeah, well, like the first line is crazy because it's like okay, cool. If you're not going to block any of the rune chants, and then you're like, I don't really care about this weakest link or whatever. I don't have any no blocks in my hand. Or not weakest link. It's like I don't really care about this like Runeblade attack action. The Swarming Loomville doesn't matter to me. Then you instant speed play this after blocks, and now all of a sudden it's got irrelevant on hit.
Right.
And you get to pick the card, which is really good. Like,
Yep.
I think this card's awesome.
Yeah, this card's really good. Thoughtseize, and then it also allows for some interesting ways for your opponent to play around it. So, like, if you block all the rune chain damage, they can't play it as an instant, right? But
Yep.
if you like block out an on hit effect, they can't. Even if they play it as an instant, you can like cover the Thoughtseize effect. So really cool. I think I like this card a lot.
The cool part though about the ladder thing you said is that it's the next time. So if
Oh,
they
yeah,
do
yeah.
another one,
Yeah,
then
if
it's
they do
like
another one, it's
guess
gross.
who's floating and all.
Although
that.
also this nets you an action point though.
I know, which is really good.
Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah, this card's great.
This card is nasty, actually. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's an Aurora card because like I think she's got a very like solid game plan already. But
You never know.
Viscerai enjoyers, like you've gotten some like actually good cards.
You're
this
eating
this
good.
set.
All right, next we have Haunting Renditions. This is a Runeblade block, which I didn't even know this card existed. I saw it like today for the first time. So you can discard this, prevent the next 2 damage, and then the first time you prevent damage, create a rune chant, which is really solid. It also just blocks 4. So it's kind of modal. You can either block 2 and create a rune chant or block 4. Seems really good.
I don't know. It seems fine. Like I'm not crazy about it.
All right.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm
All right.
so
It's your
excited.
time to talk about this card now.
Oh, I cannot wait. So for forever, I'm like, man, if only I had some sort of arsenal disruption in Kano. I would love to have some arsenal disruption.
Yeah,
You always
because that's
get
what Kano needs. An
yeah,
arsenal
the
disruption.
haters and losers would say things like, "Oh, we'll just run CNC," and now they've done it. They've given me Zap and Conquer. I cannot believe that they printed this.
Yeah,
It's on.
nuts.
It's not on hit. It's on Surge, but it's
Nuts.
blue, which is crazy because so like it pitches super well. If it deals more than 1, it destroys a card in their arsenal. So
Yeah.
if you pump it by 1 and it comes in for 2, and then you're like, I guess I need to pitch a blue,
Yeah.
because I have like a blue and 3 reds in my hand. That sucks to be them. Like you can also push it past the point where they can actually do anything about it with a lot of the new amp cards.
Right.
This is amazing. Every wizard, I think,
It probably runs this card.
runs 3 of these. I'm so excited. This was spoiled that it made me like for a split second forget that they banned Toma Aetherwind.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I love this card. I'm so happy.
Next we got Internal Inferno.
I really okay. So when I first read this card, I was like,
Super happy.
I was so excited.
But then you have to realize
I
that
read it more.
yeah. So the problem with this card, so this card is very good, but the problem with this card is you need to have action points or like some way to recast it after this. Because if you're Kano, for instance, right, you play this off the top, you can play it as an instant, right? That's fine. But you need to have some way to recast it if you want to play the surge effect version of it, right? So,
Yeah. So you can't just do Aether Wildfire, do this over and over, GG, no re.
Yeah.
Which, like really disappointing. I wish they didn't think about that and like,
Yeah.
just printed it with you can play it as an instant.
Yeah.
I
But they
would-
thought about it.
Yeah, they thought about it for more than 3 seconds. I really am disappointed that they did, but
Yeah.
I think this card's still pretty okay.
It's a 1-for-4. Like
It's a 1-for-4. I don't know if it might be the best 1-for-4 at this point.
maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think you run it in Kano.
Probably not.
Just because of the wildfire, but it's definitely like a cool card.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool. Might even be running a Celia, maybe.
Maybe.
Sigil of Aether. So at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When this leaves the arena, deal 1 damage to any target. If damage is dealt this way, amplify.
It's cool. I like this card. It being any target's great because you can ping like I guess like an Ashwing.
Yeah, good. It's good that they're designing for Aether Ashwings.
Okay, you can ping an angel.
Yeah.
Because let me think of like a more relevant ally, right?
Yeah.
It amps. You can bounce it during like the Acilio turn to ping and amp more. It saves up for the big Volzar pump at the end. I don't think it's a 3 of, but it's definitely very good.
Solid. Next, we'll do mental block. So this is a wizard block. A really weird card.
Did you know about this card until today?
No, I knew about this card. This card's weird. Like the art's very strange. Yeah, bizarre art. But discard this to prevent bizarre in like a good way. I really like this art. Discard this, prevent the next 2 damage that will be dealt to you this turn, and then if you do, create a ponder. And then it also blocks 2, which is a little confusing, but I guess it's like to play around like unpreventable damage or something. I'm struggling to understand why you.
I'm also struggling. I've seen someone put this in one list. It was a Verdant's list as a 1-of.
I don't think this card's crazy.
I don't like this card. I don't think it's very good.
I don't think it's very good, but I can see like maybe it popping up somewhere.
I don't like this card.
It's all like if you think about it, like slap, like what is that card? Like slap happy or like that cycle. It's like you block 2, you prevent 2, create an agility. This is prevent 2, create a ponder. That's pretty unright. Kind of unright.
Kind of unright. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know.
I
don't like the card.
Yeah. Cut Through Facade is a very, very good card. So this is not defendable by Zen State, funny enough. When hits hero, may destroy an aura they control, which is really solid. And then...
Well, it can be defended.
Can't be defended.
Not prevented. So your Zen State can prevent it. So
okay.
It's less of a good card than you thought.
Okay, but when it hits, you can destroy a Zen State.
Yeah, so you can't... So, like, if you're Prism... and you've got a hand of like shimmers of silver and 3 passing mirages for some reason.
Or like against this is like a good Enigma hate card too, because you can't block with the 3 cost auras.
Yeah,
which is really interesting.
And then it blows up an aura on the field, so like it can hit Genesis, for instance, without having to actually target Genesis, which is pretty good. It's a 3 for 7 and a 2 block, which is like pretty standard for a big generic like this.
Yeah, very fun.
I don't know if it's like a windmill slam and everything. It seems like if it's definitely a consideration if there's like the best deck in the format is just pumping out auras and has auras that they also want to like use to block. But yeah. A lot of people thought it was the war auras don't prevent it. And if that was the case, like, oh my god, this would be the best card ever.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually that good new Enigma based on that.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
Could be okay.
10 foot tall and bulletproof.
This is a cool card.
This is a very cool card. This is like a good meme card. Blocking 10 is pretty solid. So it's like, it's kind of on rate-ish.
It's a 2-card 10. It's also a 1-card block 10.
Yeah.
At the cost of your hero gets -2 intellect during your next in phase.
The problem with this card is that like having 2 less cards in hand means you're probably going to be taking more damage on the next turn if you're blocking out.
But okay, magical Christmas Land for a second, right? You're playing new.
Yes.
You've got 2 of these in hand, 2 blues, and a tunic up. You do 10 foot tall and bulletproof for 10.
Yeah.
You activate tunic, pop your boots, slither this, do it again. You deal 20 damage. You have no cards in your hand.
Yeah. And then what?
Then your opponent passes back to you because they have to block out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. This is a cool card. It's a meme card.
Yeah, it's a meme card.
It could be cool.
Could be cool.
If this ends up being like playable, like
sweet,
that would be awesome. I would love that.
Next we have Call of the Grave, which is a very interesting card. I don't know how much synergy this actually has with the set, but I think this is like a spoiler for the next set more than anything.
I hope so. I hope this is like a sneak preview of the Necromancer thing.
If there are a Necromancer class.
This is a good Leviathan card.
You think it's good?
Yeah, it like you can search your deck for like what's that one that automatically banishes itself?
Mark of the Beast.
Mark of the Beast. You can do that. Blood that.
You can also do the Deeper Evil if you want to like set that engine up.
You can put Beast Within to trigger it if you really wanted to do that. And you've like discarded a 6 for the turn, so it turns on anything that like your claws, it turns it on.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like I think there's a lot.
Does that count as discarding?
No.
I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
But there's so many cool things you can do with that card. I think
it's pretty great. It's cool, like synergy card. Next, we'll talk about Truce. I don't like this card. Costs 2, blocks 3, and then basically kind of replaces itself. Like, assuming your opponent is going to like let's say you play this card, right?
Mhm.
And then your opponent attacks you on the next turn. It basically just replaces itself, so you get like 5 cards in hand.
Mhm.
Alternatively, if they do nothing into you, you both gain 3 life and you don't get a card. So like it's not really, it's almost like cashing a card, which is kind of interesting, but like I don't like, you're basically like paying to do nothing basically.
I don't. Hmm. I don't know. Like this could be one of those cards because this is like choose an opponent where it's like maybe like kind of aimed at UPF a little bit if they do that, but like
Maybe.
who knows? Like I don't know. This card, like the last time there was a card where I'm like, oh, this is just aimed at UPF. It turned into like an $80 generic staple.
Yeah.
Warmongers.
Yes.
So like who knows? Maybe Truce is good.
Maybe. I don't
It's
think it
interesting.
is. I don't think that card's very good. Next, we have the Widow set. So this is all of the kind of assassin equipment that they gave to make the abysmal matchup slightly less abysmal.
Now you can stop complaining about
Yeah, now assassin players everywhere can stop complaining about wizards.
they can now they can complain about not having enough sideboard space to run this in every dagger.
Yeah,
It's a cool equipment set though. Like you can order the triggers so that like you pay for Arcane Barrier and then use the spell void, so it blocks 2 arcane for each thing.
it's pretty cool. Next, let's briefly cover the illusionist set real quick because it's kind of the same thing. So these are all also arcade barrier, but they
Sure, because they needed more
yeah, they need
things
more
to
arcade
do with
barrier,
arcane damage.
and then they have like little minor effects on top of them. I don't play enough illusionist to kind of
They really, I think they should have given like warrior like an arcane barrier
more
couple
than
things.
illusionist.
I don't
Yeah.
think illusionist needed the support into wizard or maybe into Rimblade a little bit, but yeah, it seems a little unnecessary if you ask me.
Now we get to talk about Dromite Dust. When are they
Let's
gonna
not.
do? Let's not.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, fuck Dromite. Anyways, Splatter Skull. Whenever this hits a hero, choose a face down card in their arsenal that was banished by Intimidate this turn. Or
They're banished. Them.
they're banished them. That was banished by Intimidate this turn, put it into their graveyard. So if you've intimidated and you hit it with this, then you get rid of that card permanently instead of having that card returned to hand.
Good Reiner card.
Yeah, good card. So interesting. It's almost like a random card, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Banishing a random card is pretty good.
Reiner has like the ability to go like, I have now intimidated 3 cards in your hand, and this is going to hit you, and I get to pick one of your 3 cards.
Kind of gross.
Yeah, it's just hand disruption. And it's like not KO hand disruption. It's Reiner stuff. So it's cool. I like the Green Man.
Yeah, Green Man cool. Next we have Betsy Tech.
Solves the match. Solves all the match.
Solves all of Betsy's
Fixes
problems.
the problem.
200-0 into everything. Betsy, you're gonna be hearing about a ban and restricted for Betsy pretty soon.
Betsy video 3.
Betsy video 3. I don't think we're doing it, but that video took way too much fucking work.
Yeah. This card also is
It's mid.
it's mid and doesn't do anything.
It doesn't really help Betsy's problems. Betsy needs like a game plan. This is more just a generically good card. Yeah. Anyways,
we don't have to talk. You've talked about it.
This card's insane. This card. This
Fuck
wow.
you.
This card is insane with Swamp. It's
So you can bonds after this because it has the word gust. Oh wait,
yeah. You
you
can't.
can't bonds after
can't
this
do that anymore.
because
They banned it.
this card sucks.
Yeah, this card's really bad.
This card's really bad.
It's worse than Whelming Gustwave, which is already not a very good card anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the Whelming Gustwave is a good card. It's just not in a good class right now. Anyways, Adaptive Dissolver. So this is just generic Arcane Barrier, or not generic Arcane Barrier, but Mechanologist generic Arcane Barrier.
Base mechanologist equipment, so you can put your evos over this too.
Seems pretty good for Teklo.
Good for Teklo.
Good for Teklo. Next we have Plan for the Worst. The problem with this is though that if you like equip over it, then
You lose it, but
You
you have
lose
the
it.
arcane ones.
I guess so.
So
Plan for the Worst. Look at target hero's hand and arsenal at the beginning of your end phase. They discard all cards in their hand, destroy all cards in their arsenal. Search your deck for up to 3 traps, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle 2 cards from your hand back in your deck. Okay, so basically just like Riptide card, kind of.
yeah, that's a new set, new Riptide card.
Yeah.
It's been spoiled for a while, so like enough's been said about
yeah.
it.
Next, Unsheathed. So this is kind of like a Hatchets or Kasai card more than anything.
So like it's just like decent, I guess, warrior card.
0 for +3 go again. It's really solid.
Yeah, like it It's not for axes. Specifically, I mean, like Decimator, like
Yeah.
it doesn't do it, but like sabers, it definitely does.
Hatchets it does. Right?
Hatchets, it does. Raiden, it does. So yeah, so like
Pretty strong card.
good for the I'm dual wielding warriors as opposed to like
Yeah.
the fatigue like great axe thing.
And then last we have a Briar card that we're probably not going to talk about.
Yeah, it's cool for Briar.
Cool for Briar.
Good for her.
Next we're gonna briefly kind of go over the rares. Not a whole lot to talk about. Burn Up Shock is really solid.
Yep.
This is for Aurora, so kind of like Boom Grenade, but with one extra arcane. Pretty solid.
Yep.
Really good card.
Pulsing Aether Life, I think, is
for Verdance.
It's pretty solid. There's some neat things that you can do with it, like late game, like you can like Storm Striders this out with rampant growths and stuff like that too.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, so like I think it's also an Earth 3 block, and it's a non-attack Earth 3 block, so it gets buffed by embodiments.
Yeah.
Good card. Let's look at the Runeblade one up in the top left as well.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Arcane Seeds. Creator enchant in game 1 life. So baseline, it's 0 for 3 value, which is really good, and then it could get buffed by like the doubling of the enchants in
Florian, so 0 for 5.
It's kind of like a 0 for 5. Really solid.
Yeah, I think you run this as a 3 of in Florian.
Yep, seems really good. Next we have Comet Storm Shock. So this is for Acilio, so deal 5 damage and then deal 1 damage to any target. So I feel like you're more so going to be wanting to use the Comet Storm half.
I don't think you're going to be wanting to use this card. I don't,
think
it's
so?
Good. I don't think it fits the cost of what Acilio's doing. Like
cool art though.
It's cool art. I think there's like
Comet Storm half's really cool.
You almost want Swell Tidings potentially. I don't know. There's like I don't think it's like exactly where you want to be with Acilio at the moment.
Yeah. Next we have the Earth Forms. 3 for 7 on hit create embodiment is kind of nuts.
Good card.
Good card.
Good card in limited. I think you definitely can use it in constructed.
Yeah. Next we have Summer's Fall. Put an aura.
Decompose, but an aura. Good sideboard card potentially.
Good. Yeah. Not too much to note there. 2 for 6 is kind of mid. Rootbound Carabas, this being an Earth defense reaction is really good because you can banish it to decompose, so it kind of further fuels your kind of graveyard synergy. It being 0 for 3 baseline's a little bit rough, but if you're using this as like a decompose engine, it's really good.
Yeah, it also just puts more cards in your banish zone for your hero ability, so block 4, potentially turn on your hero ability is like that's
very, very good.
That's more than 4 value, so good card.
Citadel of Sanctuary when it leaves arena, create an embodiment. So this might be.
I think this is a limited card.
More so a limited card, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of agree with that. Blast to Oblivion. So this is a very cool card.
It's a really good card.
And when this attacks, next time you play an instant card this chain link, you return aura permanent with cost 1 or less to its owner's hand. So this is really good synergy with Acilio, right?
Yep. You play this. You play out like Sigil of Brilliance. You bounce the other Sigil of Brilliance. You
draw a card. Yeah.
Get some action points. Keep doing things.
Super nuts.
Do cards. Good card. From what I understand, this is clunky if you're running 9 of them. So I've seen a number of Acilio lists running like
6,
like 2 of the red ones.
Okay.
It's like supposed to be like pretty clunky the more you get because it doesn't have a way to give itself go again. But
pretty cool card.
Yeah, good card.
0 for 4 and 2 block. Not bad. Lightning Form, again, it's kind of like Earth Form. Very solid.
I think it's like definitely good for limited. I don't know
if you run it Aurora.
I don't know if you even run an Acilio. I think it's like a limited card. If it turns into a constructed card, then please don't like reach out to me because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a solid card. So 1 for 5.
Solid Electromagnetic Somersault. So this card I think we were confused by a little bit.
So like the positives of this card are it enables the insane like bounce these cards back to your hand, do the thing for both Acilio and Aurora.
Yeah.
It says choose up to 2 attack action cards that cost 0 more on the active chain link. So if you wanted, you could bounce an opponent's attack action card defending this
to their hand for some reason.
Oh, you know what?
Wait, what?
Oh, okay. Hold on. I figured it out.
What?
It's attack action cards that cost 0 more on the active chain link. So you can block with 2 cost or 0 cost cards, right? Goes to resolution after damage. Play this, bounce them back to your hand.
Oh, so this is like a block 6?
It can be.
That's
But
kind of
more,
nuts.
you don't. I don't think you use it like that. You use it to like make your turn huge, but you can do that.
So it's like a block 6 and then flicker potentially?
Yeah, like there's all sorts of stuff you can do with this. I think
That's
it's a good
really
card.
interesting. Okay, wow, that's a really cool card.
Yeah, really
So,
strong.
interesting. Sigil of Conductivity, create an embodiment. Might see play.
I think maybe it could be good in like Acilio.
It being a lightning card matters a lot.
Yeah, and the embodiment of lightning matters as well. Yeah, I think this is definitely more playable than the Sigil of Sanctuary.
Yeah. Next, Flash got a reprint, so
Yeah, whatever.
whatever.
Um,
Splintering Deadwood, when this attacks or hits, you may destroy an aura, create a rune chance. So this is just like a limited card, kind of.
yep,
3 for 7, 3 blocks, not bad though.
yep, potentially like an 8, like
3 for 8.
3 for 8, yeah, 2 card 8. If you consider,
Kind of.
or I mean 2 card 7 because you have to destroy an
Yeah.
aura, so you can destroy like I don't know, whatever.
Next, we got 3 for 7 overpower. Pretty good.
card. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people talking about this card, so you can potentially like destroy Zen states or other annoying auras. Pretty cool card. I think this might be like more sideboard than anything.
Well, I mean, the other cool part about this is it's the next Rune Blade attack, so it buffs your weapon.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So yeah, I think this is just a solid card. It blocks 3, which is important for Rune Blades. They really don't have a ton of block 3 actions.
Yeah.
I think this card's pretty good.
Next, Malefic enters with 3 burst counters. It has none, destroy it. And when we play it, it's kind of like a Rune Blood incantation a little bit, but you have to like actually attack to get the value out of it.
Which I mean, it's kind of like in some ways it's a little better because like
It's a 0 for 3 too,
it's a 0 for
as opposed
3.
to a 1 for 3.
Yeah, and yeah, like it's cheaper. It's only once per turn, but yeah, I think this is a very solid card. It's also like
Also, look at that
Copy.
guy's face.
yeah, it's a cool guy.
It's a cool guy.
Great guy.
Next, Sigil the Arknight. This is the real top card of your deck. If it's an action, put it in your hand.
I don't know. I don't.
This seems like just like a weird Tyrol card.
This seems like the limit.
Yeah, this
sure.
seems kind of like butt ass. Next,
It just got reprinted.
this got reprinted. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Anyways, of course.
So when tomes were legal, before the great book burning of September,
Yeah.
this
card
card
was
was
nuts.
like, oh man, this is nuts. I don't know if this is like super playable at this point. There's like discussion about it, but it's like a ancestral harmony effect a little bit. But at this
I
point,
wish Ancestral Harmony was as good as this card.
yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's fine.
It's cool art.
It's less good than it used to be.
I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? I
Could be a
wrong.
limited card. Could be good.
I think it's probably okay.
Glyph Overlay. Do you think this is playable in Acilio?
I don't know if you need to play it in current Acilio because the Majestics.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely, I think, a really good limited payoff.
Yeah.
Like it might be playable in Acilio as like a you run the Reds, but
Yeah. Not crazy about this card.
it could be. And like I think that there was enough power revealed for Acilio that you don't need this anymore.
Yeah, probably not. Pop the bubble, deal 3 arcane, so 0 for 3, and then if he deals 3 or more, destroy an aura permanent. Could be good against like rune chance or whatever annoying auras.
It's fine. It's like a fine zap. It's not the best zap. It's a very niche effect, and you have Scour, which like deals with a lot more of the like 0 cost things. It can blow up Genesis if you somehow manage to land the surge effect on this into Prism.
Yeah.
Then yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
blow up Genesis, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Save the thought, shuffle up to 3 things, create a ponder, it's whatever.
Yeah, if it said just
It's like a remembrance.
if
kinda.
it just said put 3 non-attack action cards on the bottom of your deck in any order, oh boy,
Oh, that would be cool.
that'd
for
be
stacking.
so cool. But whatever.
Sigil of it's temporal manipulation.
This is bad. I think this is a bad card.
Yeah, this card's not anything to write home about.
If
It's like a random banish off the top. It's like a random Kano.
but it's a random Kano, but it's worse because it banishes it. It's not a you may banish it.
Mhm.
I think this card's kind of a turd. I don't like it.
Next, we have the Aether Quickening reprint, which is cool. And then we got this kind of cool cycle of like generic aid. So 2 for 6. Turn Arsenal face up, banish a non-attack. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like kind of alternatives to CNC.
1 for 5.
1 for 5, banish attack actions, kind of cool. And then a 3 for 7, which is banish an instant. Kind of cool. It was a lot. This card was a lot cooler once Aurora was legal, but now it's like kind of whatever.
Rip Ardor.
Rip Ardor. Next, we have Count Your Blessings, which is a Steven card. So gain three life, and then you can play 9 of them. So it's kind of like a.
Steven is a person we know.
Steven is a person who we know that
he's
would
the
love this
Jake
card.
master.
He's the Jake
He
master.
loves this. He's freaking out. He's like, oh my goodness, look at all the
I
life
love Jake.
I love Jake.
Maybe
Yeah.
good Betsy deck.
Sure, why not? But yeah, more generics is what Guardian means.
More generics. When this leaves arena, discard a card, draw a card, whatever.
I don't think this
It's
is.
generic, yeah.
And it's not an instant. And then Finals Fighting Spirit's a common. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so we get more Betsy support, more Betsy reprints, exactly what she did.
Yeah, and then I think there's like very, very quickly commons of note.
Autumn Touch really good. Blossoming Decay is pretty good.
Well grounded, the boots.
Oh yeah, the boots.
So I think these are definitely playable in both the Earth Heroes and Classic Constructed. It's prevent the next 2.
And then when it goes to graveyard, it counts as an Earth card. You can decompose, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
You can split it up, so you can like cover 2 breakpoints potentially. Good card.
Very good card. Helmet, I don't think is as good.
Not as good at this point.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Good little
Autumn's
card.
Touch being reprinted is really good. So this is just a generically stupid Earth card.
This was banned.
This is banned.
This was banned at one point.
The card is very, very
So
good.
strong.
Next we have Blossoming Decay, so it's kind of like a 2-card 6-ish, but it also fuels Decompose, which is okay.
Yeah.
Not crazy.
It's alright. It's pretty good.
Cadaver's Towing, I think this card's really good. This is the 3 for 8.
Yeah. 2-card 8.
2-card 8, it's really good.
Yeah. Strong card. Good card.
Next we have Fruits of the Forest,
Yeah.
3 for 7, baseline very good, and then it also has Life Gain Synergy, which is also okay.
Yeah. Like I think in Verdance you run if you're
You run the blue
considering
ones probably.
yeah if you're considering Sigil of Solace or this you probably run this just to
Have more Earth cards to fuel stuff.
have it modular as well.
Really solid.
Yeah. So good card.
Next we have Strength of 4 Seasons, and the reformer Earth cards gets +4, so this is a
Limited.
limited
This is
2-card 8.
Yeah. This is a limited 2-card 8.
Sometimes 2-card 8.
Yeah.
Harvest Season. This actually is, I think, constructed playable. This I think it's part of the Verdance pitch stack combo, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think you need this.
I don't think you need it, but I think it helps fuel that. Like if you set up 2 of these and then you gain 6 life at the start of your turn, and then you do the rampant growth thing, I think it's really cool.
It's just timing it. So like
Yeah, it's hard to time it. So
It
this
could be
could be playable, but I've seen people brewing with this.
it's I like the card. It's a cool card.
Next we have Strong Yield, so 1 for +3 on the next turn.
This is I think a limited card.
Limited card. Fertile Ground. This might be.
It could be sideboardable in Verdance or in Florian in Constructed, but it's definitely just this is a very good offset for Arcane Damage Unlimited.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's alright.
Next we have
Sigil of Earth.
Sigil of Earth.
This card's actually quite good.
You think so?
I think this is very playable in Verdance. I don't know how playable it is in Florian, but it's just here's more stuff to make embodiments of Earth. Contributes to the you block
Graveyard
order.
fueling.
Yeah, graveyard fueling makes your non-attacks block more. Like I think it's good.
Very solid. Next we have Equipment. So this is Flash Brilliance Defense. You may discard a lightning card if you do return an aura you control to its owner's hand. So it can potentially like blink Cilio spec.
Maybe. So I saw people like playing this in Acilio. I don't know if this is going to be where Acilio ends up headpiece wise. He could just be playing Crown of Providence. But
It's fine though.
it's definitely fine. I think this is a great pickup in limited as well.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty good card.
Twinkle Toes, prevent the next 2 damage that we left you this turn. Actually, it's only played an instant card. It seems
It's pretty alright for.
It's weird because-
limited. It's
yeah.
a limited card.
it's all. I think this is more of a limited card than
Yeah.
anything.
Like what is the other one? Flitting Charge.
Flaring Charge 0 for 4, and then if you play an instant, it gets go again. Seems fine.
Great Aurora card because you want to play instance on your chain links. It's a 0 for 4 go again. I think solid Acilio card. It's 0 for 4 go again that charges up Volzar. Like, yeah, I think this is a great card.
Next we have Fry, which is 0 for 3, but it's 0 block, which is kind of interesting. So plays around weakest link.
I think this card's good.
Yeah, 0 for 3 Gargan baseline is very good. And it's a lightning card.
Yeah.
Heaven's Claw, seeing a reprint, which is 1 for 5 lightning. Very good. Good card. I don't know how well it's going to be received and constructed.
This card is kind of crappy now.
Yeah.
I don't know if Starvo even cares about this anymore. He's got better choices now.
Yeah, he might have better choices now. Next we have Lightning Surge, 0 for 4 Gogan.
Oh.
Played a card. Solid card.
Good card.
This is
Good
also
card.
a reprint.
Yeah, nothing to say about that good card.
Second strike, so when this attacks, if you dealt damage this turn, it gets +1 and Gogan, so 0 for 4 potentially.
It's a 0 for 4.
It's
a 0 for 4. Like this, like you're going to have dealt damage when you're playing this.
Yeah.
This is very much an Aurora card. You're gonna have like some sort of arcane ping or something like that, and it's like, oh, cool! Like here's another 0 for 4.
Next we have Trip the Light Fantastique. I don't know if that's how you say it.
It's
fantastic. Trip the Light Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a reference to a novel. I don't know what happens to the novel, but
I don't read. Well,
you read.
No, I do read.
You read a lot.
I just like to pretend. I like to pretend I don't read. Anyways, discard this, prevent the next 2 damage that will be dealt to you this turn.
Limited card for sure.
I think it's limited. It's weird. Was there like a weird promo version of this card?
There was, which is cool. But I mean, yeah, this is a limited card. It does double duty, preventing damage, including arcane damage, and then it's a 1 for 5.
This looks like a Fortnite skin, which I'm not crazy about.
It does look like a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, I don't play Fortnite.
Moving on. Moving on for Fortnite.
Flash.
We were, yeah.
I don't know why it's showing up again. That's weird.
It was a rare.
Yeah, I got downshifted. Okay. Electrostatic Discharge.
Oh, this is a good card.
This is a very good card.
It's a good card. It fits right into, I believe, Acilio and especially into Aurora. It just
notably this says next, so does it buff the one that's on the active chain link?
Yeah, so if you play Gone in a Flash and then you play Electrostatic Discharge after Gone in a Flash hits, it goes back into your hand. If you have another action point, you can play Gone in a Flash again, except for this time for 7.
Very, very solid.
Yeah, good card.
I've seen the blue also be playable too.
Yeah, I think both are playable.
Next we have Sigil Lightning, create embodiment of lightning. Seems fine.
This is great in Acilio. I think you run this, you just need you need sigils that are good. This one
it being blue is really good too.
This one is one of them that is good. It is an instant, charges Volzar. This is where you want to be.
Next we have limited equipment, so gain a resource is fine.
Yep, it's fine.
Creator enchant's fine.
Yep.
And then we got a bunch of more new Runeblade cards. So if you dealt arcane damage, it gets +2, so it's 2 for 7 potentially.
It's fine, limited.
Fine.
Reprint, good card. This was a good card when it was printed. It's probably a fine card now.
I really like the art on this card.
Art's cool. Art's awesome.
Cool.
Creepy.
Hit the high notes. So if you played or created an aura this turn, it gets +2, so it's a 1 for 6. Potentially really good.
Yeah, very strong. If you made a rune chant, it's a 2-card summon.
Next we have Hocus Pocus, so 0 for 3. When this attacks for your rune chant. I've seen the blue be more playable.
Yeah, it's just.
But it being a 3-block is really solid.
Yeah, I think it's just a solid.
Kind of like Biting Breeze almost.
A little bit,
but like better. Next we have Meet and Greet.
Doesn't have Go Again.
Doesn't have Go Again though. Next we have Meet and Greet, so this is a reprint. 1 for 4. On hit, create a rune chant. If you dealt arcane, it gets Go Again. So really solid card.
Yep.
Next we have Rune Rager Swarm. If you play it or create an aura this turn, it gets Go Again. So this is like almost like a Biting Breeze. 0 for 3 Go Again.
Yeah, this one's solid. If the aura you created is a rune chant and then you play this, it's a 0 for 4 with like split damage for the 4. Pretty solid card. Like it seems like this is what people are running in general. It blocks 3. It's a good card.
Next we have Arcane Cussing. I think this is Vincent has been seeing. When you deal or dealt damage, destroy this and then create 3 rune chants.
I think this is a good card. When it leaves your arena specifically during your turn, you make 3 rune chants. So
I think you want to play this and then deal damage to yourself somehow, like with like.
So the thing, I could be wrong about this, but I think losing life to Vincent's ability, like paying a life, it works similar like in Magic the Gathering, where that's not the same as getting dealt damage.
Maybe.
What's up?
Maybe.
So I don't think this breaks from that, But the limited combo is with this and then the next card, Deadwood Dirge, where you want to destroy an aura, create 3 rune chants.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, you have Arcane Cussing out there, then you destroy it with Deadwood Dirge, and then you make 6 rune chants or however many rune chants.
It's pretty good.
Arcane Cussing is also a really good target for all of those other Runeblade cards that care about, oh, destroy an aura you control. Well, it's like, why not destroy this one? This one's a great one. You get to make a bunch of rune chants after you destroy it. So
Next, I think we already talked about both the Arcanite, right?
Yep.
This was downshifted as well.
downshifted as well.
Sigil of Deadwood at the beginning of your action phase destroys, creating a rune chant. It's fine.
It's a cool looking card. I don't
Cool
think
looking
it's great outside of limited.
Uh,
Rune chant.
Rune chant. Next, we have Inkline Cloak. Destroy this, gain red. Activate it only if you control a sigil. It's fine.
It's for limited. I don't think it's as good as the constructed stuff. I don't think this is as good as
Hold
the Wizard
focus.
constructed stuff. Arcane Aether Quickening got downshifted to make people in commoner upset.
Next, we have Arcane Twinning. Deal 3 arcane damage. Discard this amp 1. It's fine. Cool
I
art.
think-
We
yeah.
get the meeps.
The blue one is good for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's quite solid.
3 block as well.
Yeah, 3 block as well.
Etchings of Arcana. Deal 3 arcane damage, and if it deals 3 more damage, you return its aura with sigil in its name from your graveyard to your hand.
That might be good in Acilio. I don't know.
Yeah, this might be good.
It's fine.
Seems okay.
Yeah.
Exploding Aether. This is a good limited card. Amp 3 go again.
So interestingly enough, new Canalists are running this in the sideboard.
For what?
For you don't stack anymore. You do this just to into matchups where you just need really big arcane. You run like this, Blessing of Aether, Stir the Aether Winds. It just is like, here comes a big Soul Tidings or something like that.
Yeah.
I really wish the tomes were still legal.
Me too.
I'm not as sad about it. Oh, speaking of tomes, this card's insane.
Actually insane?
Yeah, let me go into it a little bit.
Sure.
So they took away the tomes and they gave a conditional tome on a wildfire turn. This reads deal however much damage, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
So you can keep the wildfire turn going for a while if this is one of the cards that you have banished. Because of this, I think you run 3 red, 3 blue. And the other interesting aspect of this is it's really good with Potion of Deja Vu. This set has had a lot of stuff that's really good with Potion of Deja Vu.
Why is it good with Deja Vu?
So you guarantee that you're going to banish this.
Oh, and
Yeah.
then you said, okay,
And
I
you draw
see
some
it.
stuff. So like there's a combo which I'm not going to get into here, but like you do like Wildfire and then it involves Potion of Deja Vu, the new Will of Arcana card, this Sonic Boom, and then it's like you just keep doing stuff. This also means that Kano and LL now has like even more things that draw 2 cards. So that's
KNL is going to be a menace.
yeah, he's the best deck ever printed probably. I so want to play him in LL.
Well, we know Zen's not very good in LL anymore.
Speaking of a good card for Kano, I think this was at one point like you consider running Rainbow, but then Tomes got banned.
Yeah.
You run Blues.
You think you're on Blues?
I think you just run Blues.
Just as an app upgrade, basically.
It's a really good zap because with Potion and Deja Vu, which is like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Then
you can chain
like-
mana off of this.
Yeah, like if you banish a couple of them and off of this,
You're not netting mana, but
you are netting it.
well, if you pay 3 to banish with Kano, right?
Mhm.
And then you gain 2, you're not netting mana, but you're extending, like you're gaining resources, but you still have to pay for it net.
Well, like with Potion and Deja Vu, if you go like Kano, put this on top, you're spending 3 to play this. It returns 2.
So you're losing 1 net mana, but you're gaining the damage, right?
Yeah, you're losing. Yeah, so you're basically kind of like turning it into like Stormstrider's cost to pay it. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good card. It keeps the combo going. Yeah,
Solid.
I like this card.
Next, Perennial Aether Bloom. This is whatever.
This is probably fine and limited. I think this sucks and constructed. I don't think you play it.
Photon Slicing is card the amp 1.
It's like
11.
Scalding Rain with probably the best Scalding Rain upside at this point.
Maybe.
The blue one's definitely very playable.
1 for 2.
Yeah, I think you've gotten more cards that kind of have like outpaced Scalding Rain Quickening to the point where you don't run the red, but yeah, it's solid 1 for 2.
Next, 0 for 3. If it deals 3 more damage, it gets go again. Seems okay.
Yeah, it's I think you run the blues for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good card. Just solid zap card. Good.
Next, we have Ponder Sigil.
I saw this in some Aciliolus. I think with the Majestics it might have gotten crept out, but I think this is a good card ish.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Next, we have the guy.
Yeah, the Pog.
The guy's pogging out.
He's pogging about the apple. It's cool looking card. It's limited card, more limited card.
The gloves.
More limited card.
Wait, is that
Four
finger?
finger gloves.
That's very funny.
It's very funny. This poor guy.
That's poor. Then we got the Runaways.
Reprint, which is a good card.
Next, we got more Betsy Tech. We got Sigil Fiandal, which is terrible. It's really bad. This one I thought was interesting. Gain, if you been dealt arcane damage during gain 4, 0 for 4, like.
Yeah, you need to do. I mean, you need this for limited because there's no arcane barrier in limited, so this will suck.
This is kind of cool. I kind of like this card.
Yeah.
Next we have Brush Off, which is just prevent 3.
Outsiders.
Right?
Yeah. So.
Then we got Crack Bubble. Insane.
And Rosetta Thorn, which is a marvel in the set.
Yeah, it's a marvel. Weird.
Get that. But yeah, so we've kind of that's Rosetta.
What do you have to summary? Like, how do you feel about the set? Are you excited for it, or are you?
I'm excited for the set. I'm happy that there's an all arcane set. It was, I really wish the spoiler season wasn't done the way it was done. I felt like I lost a lot of excitement for it, just because. It was like, look at all these cool cards, and it's like a bunch of draft cards, and then it's just like, oh, these heroes feel like they're half baked and not like fully supported. It's just because we didn't see all the power cards. So I wish that they would do it differently. I was also bummed at my tomes getting banned, but
I'm bummed about Zen.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So when you think about like Zen's, we're kind of a Zen channel at this point, or we were a Zen channel at this point, but like Zen's role was like go wide chains, and I feel like Rune Chants do that better than Crouching Tigers do for the most part.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah, Zen's looking rough, but hopefully he gets new support in like 2 years.
Mastery Set Ninja.
That could happen.
They need to do it at this point.
Basically.
For Zen.
No, what would be funny is they need to print the Katsu Armory deck, and then all those cards are only playable in Zen. That's what they need to do.
Ooh, yeah, just keep hitting Katsu while he's down.
That'd be super fun.
No, but this is I'm excited to open this set. There's a lot of cards from it that impact heroes that I want to play. I'm very interested in both of the wizards. I think this set does.
I think I'm going to be more of a Runeblade player.
Yeah, go wide. Or do whatever it is Florian's doing.
Yeah, I don't fully know what Florian does, but if you know, let me know in the comments.
But we'll have some cool Rosetta content, I guess, coming up.
Maybe we are moving at some point, so
we might make videos.
Yeah, we'll still make videos. We might just have like an intermittent break at some point.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah. So that's what we think about Rosetta. Overall, cool set.
Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments and what you're excited for, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
See you.